Hello learners! Welcome to today's coding adventure where we're going to dive into solving 4 interesting Arduino programming exercises together. Each problem will challenge us to think creatively and use different programming techniques that we've learned in the past to find solutions. Our first task, problem 1, is all about applying bonus scores to given scores based on certain conditions. We'll write a code that reads a digit as an input and then applies a bonus multiplier depending on the value of that digit. Imagine you have a score, say 5. Now, depending on this score, we want to give it a bonus. If the score is between 1 and 3, we multiply it by 10. If it's between 4 and 6, we multiply it by 100. If it's between 7 and 9, we multiply it by 1000. And if the score is 0 or not a valid digit, we'll report an error. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the code for problem 1 using both switch statements and nested if-else statements. Alright, here we are in our Arduino IDE. This is what it looks like. First, we set up communication with the serial monitor by typing this code right here. Like that. And this allows us to send and receive data for debugging. Next, we enter the main loop of our program. And we check if there is any input available from the serial monitor using serial.available, like so. If serial.available is greater than 0, meaning there's an input. Let's use the if-else statements. Like so. Now, if there is an input, we read the input and convert it to an integer. Now, here comes the interesting part. Basically, we will be using a switch statement to handle different cases of the input score. And depending on the value of the score, we calculate the bonus accordingly. So, since there are 9 numbers that we will be dealing with, we will create 9 cases for each of them. So, case 1, case 2, case 3. Such, result, score, and multiply it by 10, like so, and then break, and then oops, I forgot to write a break right here. Make sure you include that in your code. And score multiplied by 1000. And break. And if the input is not a valid digit between 1 and 9, we will print an error message. And we will print it like this. Oops. Error. Input is not a valid digit. Let's make sure that they know that it's 1 to 9. Like so. And do not forget the semicolon. Like so. And finally, we print the input and the calculated new value in the serial monitor. input serial dot print input serial dot print. And like so. And there you have it. That's the code for problem 1 using a switch statement. Now, let's move on to solving the same problem using a nested if-else statement. Alright, here we have a blank canvas once again. We can now begin writing our code using a nested if-else statement. This approach provides an alternative way to handle the logic without using a switch statement, which requires you to have as many cases as the problem needs, which may lead to your code becoming confusing and convoluted at times. Now, it depends on your preference, whichever one you want to use. If it works for you, or if you're more used to coding using that technique, hey, who am I to tell you what to do? But make sure to comment down below which technique you prefer. Here's how it works. First, let's put the same setup code as earlier, which is simply serial.begin 9600, like so. And afterwards, let's check if there's any input available, and then read the input and convert it to an integer, which is basically the same code as before. This is greater than 0 to check if there's an input. And here's the fun part. Instead of using a switch statement, we use nested if-else statements to handle the different cases of the input score, like so. If score is greater than 1 and score is less than 3, the result will be the score multiplied by 10. And then else if the score is greater than 4 and the score is less than 6, the result is equal to the score multiplied by 100. It's the same logic but using a different technique. Score 7. Oh, there's a typo here. Let's correct that. The result is equals to the score multiplied by 1000, like so. And lastly, as we did earlier, if the input is not a valid digit between 1 and 9, we print an error message just like before. Else serial.println input is not a valid digit. Oops. 1, 2, 9. Then semicolon. Return. And as before, we print the input and the calculated new value in the serial monitor, like so. Let's check our code. As you can see, it's much shorter than the switch statements, but it depends on what your problem needs. And great! Now we've solved problem 1 using both switch and nested if-else statements.
Good day everybody, welcome to today's Arduino project demonstration. In this video, we'll explore on how to test the 4 presented problems by our members. So let's start. And as you can see, I have my Arduino board hooked to my computer and it is on. So let us begin with problem number 1. So what we have here is the code created by our members. So we just have to verify this one. There we go. Yeah, it has been done compiling. So next up is to upload this on my board. As you can see, it has been receiving the code since it has this blinking light. So I think we can test the code. There we go. So the code is needing a 1 to 9 integer digit input. So we can start by testing number 3. So there we go. It has been presenting the intended output. And it is working. So moving on to problem number 2.
Hello guys, good day. And I'll be discussing the problem 2, which talks about the mixture of colors. So the instructions as follow. The colors red, blue, and yellow are known as the primary colors because they cannot be made by mixing other colors. So when you mix two primary colors, you get a secondary color, as shown here. So when you mix the color red and blue, you will get the purple. When you mix red and yellow, you'll get orange. And lastly, when you mix blue and yellow, you get green. So I will be writing a sketch that prompts the user to enter the names of the two primary colors to mix. If the user enters anything other than red, blue, or yellow, the program must display an error. Otherwise, the program should display the name of the secondary color that results by mixing two primary colors. So let's get started. Before we start to the void setup and void loop, we are first defining two global variables here and just above the void setup and serve as a container for the color 1 and color 2. And to make the mixture, string color 1 and equals to blank, and also string color 2 is equals to blank. And add the quotation marks to the both of it. And for the void setup, we're gonna be adding a serial begin 9600. This will be start the communication at 9600 baud rate. Next, we're gonna add a serial print line that will ask the user or the instructions to enter the first primary color. This can be either red, blue, or even yellow. Next, for the void loop, we're gonna be adding a if statement. So, and if color 1 is equals to blank, and also the color 2 is equals to blank. So inside the if statement, there's another if statement. If serial available function is greater than 0, we're gonna add another serial string input color equal to serial dot read string until and \n. So this line of code is simply the read the color up to the new line. Next, I'll be putting input color.trim function. So the function of this is to remove any white spaces or new line characters. Next, input color to lowercase function. So with this line of code, this will be used to convert the text or the input to lowercase characters or letters. Next, I'll be adding another if statement here. So this will simply check if your input is a valid color. If it's valid color, inside of it is the input color of the user. Gonna add the curly braces, serial dot print line, and I'll be adding a instruction to the user that he or she gets an error, and I'll be adding a please enter a valid primary color. So I'll be putting again the red, blue, and yellow. For the next line, I'll be adding else and another curly braces and adding inside the if statement again. And if color 1 is equals to a blank, where the user will go there, color 1 will be equal to the input color by the user, and I'll be adding a serial print line and inform them that he or she entered that specific color as their first primary one. Next, I'll be adding another serial print line that I will ask the user to enter their second primary color of their choice. It's either red, blue, or yellow. For the next, I'll be adding a else if color 2 is equals to blank. Color 2 will be equal to input color, and I'll be adding another serial print line that informing the user that he or she entered the second primary color. You entered plus the color 2 for the second color as your second primary color. Next, for the next line, this will be now the process of mixing colors and giving the output result to the user. So we're gonna add the string mix color variable equals to mix color, the colors 1 and color 2. Next, I'll be adding another if statement. If mix color is not equal to the to blank, so I'll be printing the serial print mixing. Next, I'll be copying the line 28 and change it with color 1 as the first color of choice by the user. Next, and next, I'll be adding the color 2 as the second choice of the user, and the word makes. And lastly, the final result, the serial print line mix color. It's either orange, green, or purple. Next, I'll be adding another else here and serial print line in case the error of the same color entered by the user. So I'll be informing them. Error, same colors provided. And I'll be telling them that please provide two different primary colors. For the next line, I'll be adding the code that will reset the colors for the next input. So color 1 is equals to blank, and color 2 will also or doesn't have input. And serial print line, and I will tell them to enter the first primary color again. Wait, and I just copy the line 5 of the code and paste it on the line 40. Next, we're gonna be adding a boolean function is valid color, and inside of the parenthesis is the string color. In curly braces, inside of it, we're gonna return the three colors. Color is equals to red. Color is equals to yellow. And lastly, color is equals to blue. Next, we're gonna make a condition for the mixing of colors. String mix colors. We're gonna add function to the line number 26. Mix colors string color 1 and also the string color 2. And add the if statement. If color 1 is equals to color 2, we're gonna return nothing. So this is made so that no mixing of colors is allowed. We prohibited it. For example, the user entered color yellow as a primary and secondary is also yellow. So we're gonna get a display message and the same colors provided. Please provide two different primary colors. Next, if uh, color 1 is equals to red and color 2 is equals to yellow or vice versa, gonna make it mixture of the two colors. And as you can see, I type the blue as the color 1 and color 2 is red. So in case of the user writes either of the two, the program will still respond to it correctly. After that, we're gonna add a return inside, return color purple, and it will be displayed on the result. Next, we're gonna be adding else if here for the second mixture of color. We just copy the color 1 and color 2 line 50, and that's it. We're gonna change it the color 2 to yellow, and also the color 1 here on color yellow also. Gonna add the curly brace and return gonna return color orange. For the last one, oh wait, I forgot the curly braces after the else if statement. And lastly, I just copy the line 52 and paste it on the 54th line and change the color. Color 1 will be the blue and color 1 or color 2 will be blue also. I'll add the curly brace and that will return the color green. We're gonna add another return statement or return function with it has no input inside, so this will be reserved or in case of an unexpected error, so line 57 will be displayed on the serial monitor. So that's it for the problem number 2, mixing of colors. Thank you for watching and listening.
It should be asking for colors. So let us first verify the code. When it is done compiling, we should be uploading it now. Okay, the board is receiving the code. So it is now done compiling. It is asking for a primary colors with the choice of red, blue, and yellow. So let us first input red. And now it is asking for a second primary color. So we should be mixing it with yellow. Let's see. So mixing red and yellow makes orange. So this is a successful testing of our code. It is working properly, displaying the output that we have been looking for. Now, moving on to problem number 3.
Good day, I am Christine Chan, and today I will be solving the problem number 3 using the Arduino IDE. In this problem, we are tasked with creating a versatile tool that assists users in calculating the areas of various geometric shapes. Utilizing the Arduino platform, we will develop a menu-driven interface that allows users to select the shape for which they want to compute the area. By adhering to the specified requirements and leveraging the capabilities of the Arduino environment, we aim to deliver a robust and user-friendly solution that promotes ease of use and accuracy in geometric calculations. So, let's roll up our sleeves and delve into the fascinating world of Arduino programming as we tackle problem 3 together. So before that, I'll read problem number 3 first before we move on to coding. For problem number 3, write a sketch that displays the following menu. Geometry calculator. First choice is calculate the area of a circle. Second choice, calculate the area of a rectangle. The third choice is calculate the area of a triangle. Then the last choice is quit. Then the user will choose in the menu. Enter your choice from 1 to 4. Computing for the area of the circle. Enter radius of the circle, 2.5. The area of the circle with a radius of 2.5 is 7.85397. Do you want to try again? Yes or no? If the user types small letter y or capital letter Y, then the program will display the menu and ask the user to enter their choice. Otherwise, the program should now exit. If the user enters 1, the program should ask for the radius of the circle and then display its area. Use 3.14159 for pi and the radius of the circle for r. If the user enters 2, the program should ask for the length and width of the rectangle and then display the rectangle's area, and then display its area. If the user enters 3, the program should ask for the length of the triangle's base and its height. If the user enters 4, then the program should end. For input validation, display an error message if the user enters a number outside the range of 1 through 4 when selecting an item from the menu. Do not accept negative values for the circle's radius, the rectangle's length or width, or the triangle's base or height. Implement the program using functions on it. One function will be used to display the menu screen, and the other functions are for the different computations the program will have. Now, let's start coding our problem number 3. First, we will define the value of pi, which is 3.14159. And let's assign my phi as variable. Then now, for the second step, we will initialize serial communication with baud rate 9600. So, baud rate refers to the speed at which data is transmitted over a communication channel. Then, for the third step, we will call the function to display the menu. So, let's type display menu. Then now, for the menu, we will declare a variable to store the user's choice. So, we will type int choice. Then next, we will display the title of the menu. And let's type geometry calculator. And then we will display the first option, which is calculate the area of a circle. Then for the menu option number 2, let's type calculate the area of a rectangle. Then for the option number 3, we will display calculate the area of a triangle. And for the last menu option, quit. Then let's type quit. Next, we will prompt the user to enter their choice from 1 to 4. So let's type enter your choice, then 1 to 4. Now let's add a loop construct to wait for the user input. And let's type while serial available equal to 0. Then let's add function call to read user's input from the serial buffer. Now let's type choice equal to serial.parseInt. Then to print the user's choice, let's type serial.println choice. Then to clear the buffer, let's type serial.read. So moving on, we will now add switch statements to handle user's choice. Let's type switch choice. Then for the case 1, we will type calculate circle area to call the function to calculate the area of a circle. Then for case 2, we will call the function to calculate the area of a rectangle. So let's type calculate rectangle area. Then for case 3, we will call the function to calculate the area of a triangle. Let's type calculate triangle area. Then for the case 4, we will print exiting message since it will end the program. And let's type. And to end the program, let's type while true. Now, we will display error message for invalid choice. So let's type invalid choice. Please enter a number between 1 and 4. Now, we will add function definitions for circle area, rectangle area, and triangle area. So first, for the circle area, we will declare a variable to store the radius of the circle. Let's type float radius. Then we will prompt the user to enter the radius. Let's enter radius of the circle. And we will wait for the user input using while serial get available. And we will read the user's input for radius using radius is equal to serial.parse float. Then we will print it. Let's type serial.println radius. Then last, we will clear the buffer. Then we will check if radius is less than or equal to 0. So let's type if radius is less than or equal to 0. Then error. We will display the error message for negative or 0 radius. Then let's type error. Radius must be positive. Then we will prompt user to try again or exit. Let's type prompt retry. Then for else statement, we will calculate the area of the circle. Let's type by asterisk radius, asterisk radius. Then we will display the result. So let's type print the area of the circle with the radius of. Then next is print radius. And then print is print ln area 5. Then last is we will prompt user to try again or exit. So that's the function definition for the circle area. Now for the function definition of rectangle area, let's declare variables to store length and width. Let's type calculate rectangle, then float length, width. Next, prompt user to enter the length of the rectangle. Now let's type serial.print enter length of the rectangle. Then we will wait for user input for the length. Let's type while serial.available is equal to 0. And after waiting for the input, let's add function to read the user's input for the length and store it in the length variable. So let's type length serial.parseFloat. Then let's print the user's input using serial.println length. And we will clear the buffer. Serial.width. Next, we will prompt user to enter the width of the rectangle. So, like just the length, we will also type serial.parseFloat for width. And next, we will print the user's input in width. So print ln inside is width. And now we will clear the buffer. That width. Then we will check if the length or width is less than or equal to 0. So for if statement, if length is less than or equal to 0, then width is less than or equal to 0. The length or width is not positive, display an error message. If the length or width is not positive, display an error message which is length and width must be positive. And next, prompt user to retry or exit. Prompt retry. Then for else statement, if length and width are positive, calculate the area. Let's type float area equals length times width. Now, to display the calculated area of the rectangle, okay, let's type serial.print the area of the rectangle with length. Then serial.print length. Next, serial.print and width. Then serial print width. Next, serial print is, and last, serial.print ln inside this area. After that, prompt user to retry or exit. Let's type prompt retry. Now, we will add the function definition for triangle area. First, we will declare variables to store base and height. Let's type float base height. And then, prompt user to enter the base of the triangle. Let's type serial.print enter base of the triangle. Next, wait for the user input for the base. Now let's type while serial.available equals 0. So Next, let's add function for user to read input for the base and store it in the base variable. Let's type base equals serial.parse loop. Next is print the user's input, which is yung base. Next, we will clear the buffer and type serial.read. Next is prompt user to enter the height of the triangle. So let's type serial.print enter height of the triangle. Again, wait for the user input for the height. Let's type while serial.available equals 0. Then next, read the user input for the height and store it in the height variable. Let's type height is equal to serial.parse loop. And then we will print the user's input, which is height. Serial.print ln height. Then we will clear the serial buffer. Next, to check if the base or height is less than or equal to 0, we will type if function. So let's type if base is less than or equal to 0, then height is less than or equal to 0. Next, if base or height is not positive, it will display an error message. So now let's type serial.println error base and height must be positive. Then next, prompt user to retry or exit. Now let's type prompt retry. Then for the else statement, if base and height are positive, calculate the area. Let's type float area is equal to 0.5 times base and times height. And to display the calculated area of the triangle, let's type serial.print and the message, the area of the triangle with base. And then next, serial print base. Next, serial print and height. And next, serial print is. And lastly, serial print ln at area. And after that, we will prompt user to retry or exit. Let's try prompt retry. Now, for the validation, let's type void prompt retry. Then we will declare a variable to store the user's choice for retrying. Let's type char retry. And then we will prompt the user to retry. Let's type serial.println. And do you want to try again? Y or N? Next, we will add while statement to wait for the user's input. Let's type while serial.available equals 0. Then let's add retry equal to serial.read to read the user's choice. And then let's print the user response using the serial.println, then retry. And now we will clear the buffer. Next, we will add if statement. When the user chooses letter Y, it will display menu. And let's type if try equals Y and then displaying menu. It will display the menu if Y or Y typed by the user. Then for else statement, and let's type println exiting. It will type the exiting message and add while statement true, then it will end the program.
This one, okay, we should be able to verify this one. Okay, and then upload it. Okay, as expected, it has been displaying some errors. So this one is, we should be selecting the port that could be used. Okay, let me see. This is the port, this is the board, not this one, Arduino Uno. So this should be working now. Try verifying it again. Done. Uploading. Wait for it. Done. Now open the serial monitor. Oh wait, I wanted to. There you go. So this one, we have the choices. Let me extend this one. So displaying the menu for the calculator is successful. So testing it out. So we should be able to calculate the area of rectangle, asking for the length. So let's just think of a random one, 82. The width is 12. So the area of the rectangle with the length of 82 and width of 12 is 984. So it's working properly. So it should be good. It displayed all the available menu that was put in the code. It is working properly. Moving on to part 4.
Hello everyone, I am Cedric Villarisa, and today we will be solving problem 4 on lab exercise 2, which involves basic Arduino programming and coding by using Arduino IDE. So first, we need to have the problem overview. So the problem overview states that the problem statement requires us to prompt the user for 4 test grades and calculate the student's final grade based on the scores. Additionally, we need to account for the scenario where the student can drop the lowest exam scores out of the 4. So there is a following grade cutoffs, 2 columns, A, B, C, D, and F. So F is the failing grade, while A, B, C, D is the passing grade. So D is the lowest point of grade and A is the highest point of grade, with the following if statements on here variables. So let's get ahead on the Arduino IDE. First, we need to set up the void setup. This is where the serial communication with the Arduino board is initialized at a baud rate of 9600. So the function is written just like this: serial.begin, opening close parenthesis, 9600 with a semicolon at the end. So next, we will be having the void loop. After the setup, we need to enter a loop function, which is the main part of our program. Here, we prompt the user for each exam scores, calculate the final grade, and then ask if the user wants to try again. The users want to try again is my additional feature for the structure of the code, since I want to loop my code after they successfully entering and reusing my code again and again, and they need to try my code for themselves. So we introduce the float function, float exam1, exam2, exam3, and exam4. This is the variables that we will be storing their user inputs. Also, we need to calculate the lowest score. We will be distributing the float function onto the user input in this lowest score and calculate using arithmetic equation. Average, try again. This is character. And we need to have a prompt user for exam1 score. So initially, we will be having a variable declaration. This is a variable declaration, and we will be having a prompting for exam scores. The program, I need the program to prompt the user one by one from exam1 to exam4. This is done using serial.println, enter exam1 score 0 to 100, and add just like this. Add a semicolon. We will be introducing while loop. The purpose of while loop is to continuously loop the program inside it until the certain condition inside the parenthesis to be satisfied. Exam1 read floats from serial.println exam1. So next, we will be needing input validation as part of the main program. So after each input, the program checks if the entered score is valid, ensuring it falls within the range of 0 to 100. If the input is invalid, it prompts the user to try again. So we will display the other exam1, exam2, exam3, and exam4. Just like that. Enter exam2 score, exam2, exam3, exam4. Exam2, exam3, and exam4. Here we go. And after input validation, we will be having a check if any input score is invalid. If statement exam1 is less than 0, exam1 is greater than 100, exam2 is less than 0, exam2 is greater than 100. We'll be adding these conditions. Just like that. Wait. Serial.print and then invalid input. Please enter a score between 0 and 100. Just like that. Then we will introduce a return function, exit loop, and try again. So the purpose of this if statement is to check the input validation. Serial.println invalid input, please enter a score. Then we will return to this void loop. And we will be needing a user input again and again until a desired range or the desired user input successfully manages to satisfy the program. So next we will be having a calculating the lowest score. After each input, the program checks if the scores are entered. The program finds the lowest score out of the 4 using the min function. So after that, we will be having the calculating the average. So basically, we will have this find the lowest score. Lowest score equals min function. Min exam1, exam2, minimum of exam3 and exam4. After that, calculating the average. excluding the lowest score, average equals x sum 1 plus x sum 2 plus x sum 3 plus x sum 4 minus lowest score divided by 3.0. This is the code for arithmetic equation for calculating the lowest score. Average score, I mean. Next is to display the lowest score. So we will retrieve the global variable by having this block of code, just like that. Print ln serial print average and serial.println %. After that, we will need to determine and display the grade. If average is greater than or equal to 90%, then it will fall to the A grade. Your grade in this course is an A. Next, we will introduce a else if for this. Else if average is greater than or equal to 80, then serial.println B, then else if again, I'm sorry, that's average equal to 70%, here the println C, then else if again, let's copy the code, 60 D, and else if the grade does not fall in either of these four, we will have a serial println your grade in this course is an F, just like that. Now we have the find the lowest score, calculate the average lowest score, and display the lowest score, and also determine and display the grade. So basically, we solved the problem 4, but there's missing. I need to have the prompt user, my additional feature, to try again the program. So here is the code, serial.println. Would you like to try again? Enter Y. Wait. Enter Y for yes, and or N for no. And do a while loop while serial available. Try again. Serial.read. This while loop will not satisfy until a certain condition is certain user input condition is satisfied. So if the certain user input is satisfied in this case, we will introduce a try again, and we will be having a equal variable to serial.read. So basically it is 1:1 ratio. Then we will have a if statement, try again is equal to n, or try again is equal to small n. So this is a case-sensitive scenario for users trying to put a lowercase or uppercase n. Then exit program. Exit the program while true, like that, just like that. Also, we will be having a function to read a floating point number from serial input, read float from serial, string input, serial.read string until /n, input trim, remove leading and trailing white spaces. So basically, we will be having a code that is input case sensitive. This is my structure of the code. And check if input contains only digits and at most one decimal point. For loop, for int I equals 0, I is less than input that length I plus plus, or I append 1 every course of iteration. We will be having a if is digit input char at I and input char at I is equal to dot and input char at I is not equal to dash. Then that means invalid input, return -1, return -1. Convert string to float, return input to float. And the code is finished. So this is the structure of my code. We have the serial begin, the global variables, the arithmetic variables, and the additional feature. So user input, user input, user input, and user input. The if condition for input case sensitive, invalid input, and we will recurse the iteration from doing from user input again. Calculate the lowest score by this minimum function, average score by average mean, and displaying the lowest score by serial.println, and displaying the average grade by this else if conditions. Additional feature serial.println, case sensitive, and also the decimal to float function, and digits at most one decimal point. So here is my code for Arduino IDE. Thank you.
There should be another error, so to avoid that we should probably change the port and board for this one. There we go. Verify. Okay, done compiling. Upload the code. You can see it's blinking. There, it's done. You should be able to navigate through the code. So it is asking, oh wait, I did a mistake. So it should be asking for an exam score. So exam number 1 score should out of 100 should be 35, just a random number for exam number 3, exam number 4. Okay, so since we didn't input a number for the first exam or first 2 exams, I think it's... Oh, should try again. I see. So, there you go. Asking for exam number 2, exam number 3, 4. So, our grade in this course is an F because our exam average is 33%. So, there you go. The code is displaying the expected output and working properly. Thanks for watching.